It's Thursday. That means Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 of my favorite days of the week. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm excited because we have Crystal Cino with us. And we're going to do a little fresh licks with her and then take a deep dive into her life, her past, her music, and her passions. And so here we go with the fresh licks for tonight with Crystal Cino.
Sugar water and you're sipping water plain. I'm dripping sugar water and you're sipping water plain. Drink the sugar water, drink it down, down. Drink the sugar water, drink it on down. Love me strong, lay the mojo down. Sweet low life, sugar on the ground. Love me strong, put the bottle down. Sweet low lies, look at what we found. I'm dripping sugar water and you're sipping water plain. I'm dripping sugar water and you're sipping water plain. Go! Drink the sugar water, drink it down, down. Drink the sugar water, drink it on down. Drink the sugar water, drink it down, down. Drink the sugar water, drink it on down. Love you high and love you sweet. Come alive when you feel my heat. Love you strong, your knees get weak. Sweet low lies, my sugar peaks. You're dripping sugar water and you're sipping water plain. I'm dripping sugar water and you're sipping water plain. Go! Drink the sugar water, drink it down, down. Drink the sugar water, drink it on down. Drink the sugar water, drink it down, down. Drink the sugar water, drink it on down. Drink the sugar water, drink it down, down. Drink the sugar water, drink it on down. Drink the sugar water. That sugar I drip ambrosia. That bottle you grip controls ya. Insanity fills your brain. Put sugar water down the drain. These sugar fix my pixie sticks, but stand in the candy rain. That sauce I bring to the table. Wanna taste sugar cane? You're not able. Sweet tooth, sugar fang. No, you can't control my pain. Don't lose that grip when you take a sip. When the cane juice rush your veins, you flip. Straight up neat on a rock school whip. How do you take it? Put it to your lips. I drink the sugar water. Drink it down, down. Drink the sugar water. Drink it on down. Drink the sugar water. Drink it down, down. Drink the sugar water. Drink it on down. Drink the sugar water. Drink it down, down. Drink the sugar water. Drink it on down. Come on, Matt. You got some sugar water for me?
Drink
Some
the
sugar.
sugar water, drink it on down.
Come on, give me some sugar bass, Travis. Drink the sugar water, drink it all
Yeah, that was fun.
Crystal C note, everyone.
So Crystal C note, that was a lot of fun. Man, Travis stopped by.
Yes, thank you,
So
Travis.
yeah, that was awesome having
Much
Travis
better.
in. Travis Brown.
He never even heard the song.
Yeah, Travis never even heard this
No,
song,
just kidding.
which is ironic, I think.
Yes.
He's got a jam tonight with the Brown family, which is it's traditionally tonight, and as you guys will see later in the interview, you know, I really look at the Brown family as kind of like the backbone of Fort Wayne rock and roll. You know, they've been around forever, and you know, Ted has just been leading the family into music as long as I've known you guys, and obviously another generation before that. So it's a great interview. Tune in for that. Coming up next is we got some tips. So we got some tasty tips
Jamie Simon.
with Jamie Simon, and then we'll dive into the interview with Crystal, and we'll see you guys in the back room here.
When you're starting off, if you're going out and playing like big shows where there's multiple bands and there's a house kit that you have to play, do not be afraid to adjust that kit for you to play it. If you have stuff set up wrong, you can actually end up hurting yourself by playing incorrectly just because of the way the drums are set up. For me, if I have a drum down here, I'm going to play like this, it's going to hurt my wrist, and I've only got about 2 songs that I can get through. So it's probably good if you just take the time to adjust everything where you need it, which is easy to do once you know how everything works. So for me, I need to raise this up, bring this in where it's easy to get to. This is a bit out. And remember, whoever was using the kit right before you, they're not you. You're built differently. You're going to need the drums in a different spot. Another thing about making sure the drums are where you like them is that it should allow you to be comfortable to where everything is easy to play. It's important to be relaxed while you're playing in order to play fluidly. If you're not comfortable, it's awfully hard to relax. And with this instrument, we can customize it in that way and should.
It's not in the bottom of the bottle, not in the top of your smile, not in the way you touch my hips, no, I'ma let you go for a while. My mind is playing tricks on me. All I want is that dopamine. Not in the bottle, but I drink it down, slapping it up and I'm going to town. You on my brain, feeling no pain, hitting receptors with dopamine. Let's face it, addicted to love, needing your touch, feel like a glove. Turn on my lights, feeling is right. I got a feeling that you go all night. Got me lighting up, tighten up, nibble but bite. I'm not like a novel where you're the plot twist and you hit the spot. Like a novel where you're the plot twist and you hit the spot. Like a novel where you're the plot twist and you hit the spot.
we have a special guest tonight, Crystal C-Note. She has a new album out. It's Shadow Works. And Crystal, let's I want to dig in, and I want to start from the start.
Okay.
So, where did you get your music from? I mean, we know the Brown family. We know that they're the bedrock of Fort Wayne rock and roll. But where'd you go to school at, and how'd you get your start in music? And take us through that.
Well, if we're to get way, way back, born and raised on the south side of Fort Wayne. Same 5-mile radius. Went to Southside, went to Geyer until they shut it down because we were too gangster. And I don't know, Mom and Pop, the music was such a big part of my life, and watching Pop in his gigs and Mom really facilitate all the stuff that he did.
Pop and Fresh.
Pop and Fresh, I should be clear,
Fresh,
a bigger influence would be my dad's record collection, which was huge. And I remember rushing home every single day from school, and that was the first thing we wanted to do, was just put the headphones on and get out the Devo album or get out the David Bowie or whatever it was that day that we were really into.
So what was Pop's rules on putting those albums back?
He didn't have any rules,
No?
and we were children, but we always took really good care of them. The only one that probably got a little bit beat up was the Devo album because we played it so much all the time. But yeah, it was, I always thought that my love of different genres went against me, but it actually ended up working well for me. But I really have a love for Zydeco, and that actually was a huge part of my influence that you will never hear in this, but it's kind of weird because it just makes you feel good. But it's everywhere from the Devo to the things you wouldn't expect. So my parents, everybody knows them as, the music scene and whatnot. And they definitely very much encourage us to do music, almost to a point that they'd really prefer that we do that other than a regular job. And I've had a regular job since I was 14, and they always give me crap about it. They're like, you should be making music.
Which is the complete opposite of what most families are.
Yep.
I know that I had to struggle with music because my parents were the typical 80s family that was, you need to go to college, music's a hobby, and it took me a long time to figure out that no, it's not a hobby. It's a real important part of my life.
Absolutely.
And it's as important as being a doctor. It really is.
It is.
I had that mentality too, but it wasn't my parents' fault. It was just, I don't know if it was school or whatever it was, but I did have the feeling or the perception that you can't make money doing music because you can't make money doing something you love.
It should be the opposite.
It should,
really
but I
is
think
the
that
opposite,
a lot of people that often in the circles that we run in, people are always kind of
Juggling
struggling
both.
with the notion of, can I do it full time? Is it just a hobby? And
And I've watched certain people in the music scene that finally will be do away with their 40-hour-a-week job and pursue it. They are always successful and they're happy. And I'm still I have this album out. It was successful. I have some good people behind me, but I still juggle 40 hours a week, and my parents still give me crap for it.
Yeah.
So I originally was in a cover band with S'mores. S'mores started in around 2008, and it was really about getting together as friends and making music and having a good time. And we had Maurice Turner in there, which we were in plays together in high school. So a lot of that, being super extra, that came from...
Which comes out in
Yeah,
your shows big time.
it does,
because
it does.
The theatrical experience of going to a s'more show is my
Absolutely.
favorite part. One of my favorite parts. The musicality is wonderful, and your
Thank you.
song selections are great. But when I go and watch you guys, I see something that we don't see anywhere else in Fort Wayne, in natural choreography.
Yeah,
You guys, especially you and Mo.
yeah.
I mean, you guys
Our
start-
chemistry on stage is...
Yeah, your chemistry is undeniable.
It is.
And
He taught me to not be afraid. Matter of fact, when S'mores first started, I had a book of lyrics that I took to every single gig, and I would stand there and I would read from those book of lyrics behind the thing. I was absolutely a different person when I first started. And him and Chad both would, the guitar player / saxophone player, they would both give me a hard time about having that. And then one time we played Bill's City Girl, and I forgot it at home. And they're like, you could do without. I'm like, no, I gotta go home. They're like, you can do without it. And from, training wheels came off, I guess, so to speak. And from there on out, I was crawling around the stage and getting on bars and never looked back.
So s'mores is it's as much a family affair as Papa Fry.
Absolutely. Our goal was always just to have fun and make music together. It was never ego, and it was always, that's why we lasted so long, I think. There's not really a lot of butting heads between us. So it's Maurice Turner, on bass, Chad on guitar. Then we luckily found Craig Steffen. And then we have Phil as our drummer, he kind of stepped in after we've gone through about 5 drummers and no bad blood. It was all
Just the way it goes.
stuff happens, and we had to get a drummer. But it started with Dave. He ended up going his way, and then we had Beto for the better part of the band, probably 7 or 8 years, and then he ended up in another band that was more his genre and style, so still left on good terms. Then we had Lee, and then Phil. No, we had Nick in between. See, so many drummers.
Tell me a little bit about Sugar Hour.
Sugar Hour. Oh, so Sugar Hour started. Eric Mulberg built WELT 95.7 FM from the ground up, and when that came to fruition in 2015, Otto, who is actually my producer on the radio show and executive producer for a lot of the album, he's like, we're looking for shows. I was like, I would love to do a show, especially because it's non-commercial, and I play what I want.
Yeah.
And so from there on out, that was like my catchphrase, I play what I want. So we're pretty much, I'll do any genre. As long as I like the song, I'll play it. But a lot of the time it's to get local artists and musicians on there to kind of promote their music, especially if they've never had any experience in radio. They'll come on nervous, and it's beautiful to get them in there to experience it for the first time. And then we also have a segment called Lifting Up Local, where we'll feature different local restaurants and just places that are struggling a bit, might need a little bit of a boost. We can't officially advertise, but they can come on and talk about it all day.
Oh, nice. So how long have you been doing this show?
Since 2015, since it very first started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the time slot?
It's Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock. It was live. A lot of them are live, but some have been pre-recorded. And then we have a replay. I think it's like Saturday at 2 a.m. or something like that. But yeah. So it's on the radio and then also streamed live on the Access Fort Wayne website.
Is this your first album?
It is. It is absolutely my first album.
So you coupled your show and your release with also a benefit.
Yeah, well, I wanted to do a release that wasn't just like, look at me, but more like a, hey, here's my album, and this is a big part, because it is a concept album, a big part of it is overcoming demons and like recovery and just like learning to overcome your shadow works. That's literally what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make sure somebody was going to benefit from it. It was a benefit for Road to Recovery here in Fort Wayne, who is a recovery home for people that are, a lot of them are getting out of prison or off of drugs, and helping them rebuild their life in that aspect. And it actually turned out, Won't Let Go, the first official video that we dropped, I put out a call, hey, I need people that are willing to share their story about recovery and aren't shy about it being public. And so I had like a couple of people, we went and shot the video. One of the guys turned out to be the director of that sober living home. I was like, well, this was meant to happen. I guess you guys are going to benefit from it. So we raised almost $2,000 for them. It was a really, really good turnout.
What a great event. Why don't you give a shout out to some of the people that helped with that event? Because I thought it was a fantastic event.
I don't want to forget anyone. So
that's all right.
My friends that I can't list the whole name of, there's so many, but definitely Amy Weissong. We spent 7 hours setting up the night before. Yeah. It really looked like a wedding when you walked in.
It looked great.
And I had somebody approach me afterwards and say the coolest thing. They were like, it was almost like you married your music career.
Oh, wow.
I was like, that's a beautiful way to
do
it. Yeah. And I was like, it's pretty accurate. And it felt nice because I had all the people I cared about. Most of them were all in one room and got to experience where music had gone. But putting the event together was scattered and insane. Otto, Andrew played a big part in helping that. Every little piece and part of the puzzle, Boudoir Noir helped a lot as well and did some sponsorship. Cracker Jack Catering, a lot of that was sponsorship related. Mike Bence, yes.
Yeah, he threw down, that's what he does.
He did. And the food it was actually Good and Evil themed, so the food was themed as well. It was like angel hair pasta and Diablo shrimp. And like angel food cake and devil's food cake.
Well, Mike's the best person for that. So.
Yeah, we sat down and he's like, I'm excited about this because I get to be creative and like really dive into the creative side of it. But Yeah, there's so many people. I don't want to miss saying anything, but we had so many local artists that if I try to list them all, I will forget. But definitely, they all put in their time and effort into donating pieces and making that portion of it really go over well. Tim Becker was the director of art, who did an amazing job. But yeah.
Yeah, you had a lot of great people helping for that. I was very impressed with how well the show came together and how willing everybody was to come in here and do whatever it took to put it on. You have another one in the works?
I'm working on singles right now. Like, I don't want to stop making music now that gate has opened for me to be able to, because I think before this, having done covers for so long and like not really focusing on it, I don't have a lot of theory knowledge, I guess. I know chord progressions and I know what can go together, but I don't explore deeper than that.
Yeah.
So I didn't think I actually had the tools to write. I wasn't really trying for that reason. And when I sat down with Mosey and we started to get into the process of writing, which I already had a handful written, I didn't realize there aren't as many rules as I tried to box myself into. So once I discovered that I can write, I was like, now I write every single day. Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's just like the floodgates open and this is what I do now. Like, this was my diary very much. It was very much a lot of personal stuff. Even the stuff that seems to have a lighter vibe to it, it's got dark undertones. Like Sugar Water, the song, it sounds like it's just about sugar water and like, a happy, fun, sexy time. But it's actually about somebody that's not willing to give you their all because they're too involved in their alcohol or their drug or whatever it is. So the most challenging thing I find is writing like happy dance songs. And I'm sure a lot of writers struggle with that because the minor chords sound so good. Like, and
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I love writing and I write as often as I can, and it's scary to put yourself out there.
It is.
It's because you try and find a common theme to where people can connect with you without being too personal and exposing yourself.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do, but I guess the best songs are the ones that you
where you're really as authentic as you can be.
Yeah, and you can't be scared, and you just gotta throw it out there.
Absolutely. And I mean, at first it was difficult, like going to the studio. I have the best story, if you mind if I tell this.
Please do.
So I actually had a feature that I was supposed to have a rapper for Won't Let Go. And the feature fell through. Like, nothing negative happened, but it was just communication and they were on tour already. And so one day I was just, you get in a writing zone and vibe, and I was hungover as crap and just in my car, and I'm like writing these lyrics, and I was like, I'm gonna do the rap, and just clicked in my head that I could actually do this. So I showed up to my session with Mosey and I was like, I wouldn't talk. I had it written on a piece of paper. Just start the song and push record. He's like, you can talk, you're not gonna hurt your vocal cords. You can say something. I'm like, just start the song. And so he started and I laid it down and like it came out really well, and the emotions were there. You know what I mean? That's where I discovered that like, rap is kind of what I enjoy the most. That's where I can really give everything about me.
You drag your wings in the dirt, held us hard candy, you flirt. Tame that beast before it consumes. You make me wanna exhume. You resurrect fire within, bring it back to where it begins. You think I'm on my high horse, just want you to fly more. You feed your demons, I'ma start mine. I got a new vice, it's not wine. You got a new lie, you're not fine. Dissect these words, line for line. I pray it found you right on time. Give you some hope, give you a choice, give you a chance, give you a voice. Emerge from this in a Rolls Royce. Throw you some rope when the water's too deep. Throw you my soul, lands at your feet. Feel your pain like it's my own. You belong up on that throne. Fix that head, fix that crown. Keep your body above ground. Eyes are empty, so is your bed. Where is your soul? Not in your head. Save you for those whites turn red. Save you for those whites turn red. Save you for those whites turn red. Won't let you go.
I mean, like, I love to sing. Blues is my heart and rap is my soul. I guess we have to say it that way.
What's coming up? You got some shows coming up?
Officially, we don't have anything that I can announce dates for, but we have some things in the work, opening for some national acts and whatnot.
And we'll have you guys out at Farm Fresh. So we're gonna do that again this
I would
year.
love that. It was a
That'll
good time.
That'll be great. That'll be fun.
Quit trying to love me. I done told you I'm not should know you were just some fun. Can't unlock my heart. Don't you even start to try to get in my head. It's dark and it's black, I can never get back to it. I used to love. My heart ain't right, but I try with my mind. But I just can't be loved. Baby, please.
My music director, Brian Nellums, has put together a great group of guys that played with me at that event. And so hopefully I'll have those same players as well. But yeah, they're just super professional, show up, you know, he plays to a click. So for a drummer, he's like right on it. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. The CD release party downstairs was great. It was fun. I got a list of some people that were there that played with you. Derek Reeves.
Oh, Derek.
You
He
know?
really helped shape like a lot of the sounds we started getting the actual album down. I was like, oh, we got to get Derek because he was a part of IMI. He's actually one of the main guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd call up Derek and he'd come to the IMI house.
So
and
he's
we'd lay down.
tireless.
Yeah.
Because
oh
I
my
see
gosh.
him everywhere doing everything.
Absolutely.
From running to Indianapolis
back.
to play with the Phil down there to coming here and
He literally drove to Indianapolis to shoot the Won't Let Go video and then drove back.
yeah.
And then like Alive, which is it's not on the album, but it's one of the singles. I was like, hey, can you come record tonight? And he did. He
He
showed
did,
up.
just
with
like
Zanks.
that.
Yeah, T Zank, I should mention him too. He's been a huge part of the album
Okay,
as well,
yep.
almost as much as Mosey.
And he's the producer, and I remember him coming up and he raps with you.
Yeah, he did. He's a producer, and Successful Music is his music, thing, and he does a lot of hip hop, so he was able to help me pull that part out of it. But so is Mosey, so it was just kind of that. My biggest thing is like I love the hip hop vibe and the blues, but still utilizing some organic instruments was very important. So that's where Derek came into play, and like other instrumentals.
Oh, yeah.
Guitar with Arthur Mock.
Mosey will play with you guys.
Will on
Arthur.
there, yeah.
Arthur's a phenomenal guitar player.
Oh, he's the best.
Can you shed a little light of, did you have your songs composed when you went into the studio, and then like did you sing to them and then like the orchestrated the songs around them? Did you already have the chords figured out and stuff?
Yeah, most all of it actually co-produced. So I had the chord structure for almost all of them was already in place. Mo would help me occasionally like write a bridge or put a part into it, but I would say, okay, here's the song and I like this beat to it, or here's this vibe that I want, and then we would literally pick sounds together. But yeah, for the most part, the whole chord progression was written and ready. And lyrically, some of the stuff was written, but some of it was like on the spot, like right there, like emotionally able to just go in and do it. Those are particularly like intense songs, the best I think. When I go in and I'm not completely done, which I did all the time, or I'd write it like right before I went to the session. Because I remember a couple of those, particularly Speak Higher Words. I wrote the second verse right before I went to the studio, and that's one of my favorite verses on the whole album. But yeah, a lot of it was in place, and they helped me like bring out what feeling I want. And like going through with IMI, they helped me really find my sound for that. So like we'd sit down and I'd show them all my different influences and what I liked about each one and why, and what we could actually implement. What's actually come of it, like once you guys listen, is we can't really name a genre. I don't know if you've heard any of the songs name a genre.
I have.
Yeah.
I've listened.
Well, I want to know what's the genre.
Well, that's what's cool about it because it's yours.
Yeah.
I mean that's my favorite part about it is I don't sit there and put you in a box with anybody because
Yeah.
I'm like, this
I
is
love
their
that.
music.
I love
and
that.
it's original. It's just that's what's fantastic about
So
it.
this is
That's what
only going to
drives.
be online, right? It's
Yes.
not an actual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So as Mosey and I were doing this, you have to put a genre in when you're saving it on his thing.
Uh-huh.
So we just looked through and I found Porn Groove and I'm like, there it is. That's my genre.
Very nice.
Porn Groove.
It's perfect.
But no, to answer your question, a lot of the stuff was in place, and then they just helped me bring it out in the.
Tell us about IMI.
So IMI is the Institute for the Musically Insane, which is literally that. We are insane. It's about taking artists that are starting out and helping groom them a bit, but more just like to bring out their own authenticity, because that's a huge part of IMI, is being yourself is the most important part of it, not some kind of cookie cutter thing.
I think it's so easy for artists to get lost in trying to sound like someone else, or to catch a vibe, or to catch a trend, and all these things, but it's your own individuality that sets you apart, literally, from everyone else in the world.
And it's also difficult with social media and like hustle culture, like sit there and compare yourself to everybody else and not try to follow that where you're trying to be like somebody else. But IMI was good at building us up at what we were.
In this world, that's it. I mean, you are the unique piece. You are the light. You are the combination of stardust and molecules that is never going to happen again. So being able to share that.
Stardust
It's
and
that
molecules.
being the light you want to see in the world. It's
Yes, I
being
love
that
that.
version of yourself.
Yeah,
that you want to
sharing that with the world.
Yep.
And
it's easy for that to get lost.
Yeah.
You know, it's so easy to want to be someone else, and you know, the trend of the world kind of is to make you feel inferior in lieu of all these other people that you see, or all these other what seems to be the highlights of everyone else's life, and it's easy to lose track of the greatest gift you have is your own self.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like within writing shadow works, I was doing shadow work. So if you guys know what that is like finding those dark parts of yourself and just exposing them to yourself and accepting them, because you can't do away with them. Like, you are who you are. You have to accept that, or it's going to consume you. And I'm not even going to pretend like I'm done doing that. The album doesn't mean I'm finished.
Yeah.
But like some of the stuff that I wrote that was like the most emotional, like when I wrote Shadow Works, the actual track, which is only, it's like a snippet, it's maybe a minute and 20 long. But I cried, I laughed. People, if they would have watched me, would have thought I was insane.
Yeah.
I'll say this a million times, and I'll say it in every interview. If one person hears one song on this album and gets sober, the whole year and a half is worth it. Like, nothing else matters. I'm not counting view counts. I'm not counting streams. I don't care. One person hears, won't let go, and they're like, I'm going to change what I'm doing for the better. That's it. That's what I did it for.
Shadow Works. Crystal C Note, a new album, awesome album. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you absolutely so much. I love that you guys are doing this. I truly do.
Wow, that was great. Sugar Water, we got to jam that with her, and Travis came by. I love playing with Travis. He's just effortless at the bass. He's, you know, every time I've got to play with him, it's been a treat, and he just makes it look easy. You know,
it is a lot easier when you have a bass player to play along with too. Like, it especially for a drummer, it takes away a lot of the busy work and lets you just focus on just keeping time.
Just riding the wave then. Yeah, riding that bass wave. What a great time with Crystal. And I can't say enough about her album and her family. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Next week we have Fernando Tarango. You can catch some of his music on our Loft website. We'll have an interview with him, and it's a really good friend of Troy. Troy, tell us a little bit about growing up and knowing Fernando.
So I met Fern probably it's about 10 years ago now, maybe slightly over that. We met because I was doing music for a local film that was being produced, and he came and we hit it off right away. We're kind of kindred spirits. We hit it off so well that he ended up living with me for a while. He lived in my breezeway for a couple of years.
In the breezeway.
Yes, yeah, in the breezeway. And so there was a time where...
Did he live in the vanity in the breezeway?
Yes, he lived in an Indian cupboard, actually, and there was other little creatures that came alive when you put Fern in there, because Fern is actually magic.
He's a magical creature.
Yes, and he brings anything... And he's a musical magic piece.
He can sing, yeah.
So we ended up, he came and was in the movie, the East of Nowhere. It's a little independent film that we were shooting at the time.
It's a great ditty. Actually, we'll do a feature on that one of these days.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Look forward to that.
I ended up doing the music and the score for it, and so I met a lot of people through doing that, Lance Hepner was one. I had known Lance before that, but I had never got a chance to work with him. And I think that I got a chance to work with Rick Kinney, not on that, but on a different project that we were doing at the time. But yeah, back to Fern. So Fern moved in with me, and I ended up producing an album for him down in my basement, which had some of my favorite of his. I don't know if it's my favorite song, but it's definitely my top 3 of his is. Well, Your Face is the other one. The title of the other one's eluding me at the moment, but we worked on that. We did, and we tracked it about 12 times, and I think it was the 12th track that we did that he nailed it. And I remember the first time I heard him playing this song, which the title is still eluding me. I'll remember it as soon as we cut away, I'm sure. But he was playing it at the Peace Frog coffee shop, and occasionally if I hear a song in the right frame of mind, it'll cause me to well up or, have a strong reaction to it. And I was kind of, weeping's too strong of a word, but I was crying pretty freely.
That's pretty good. I mean, if music does that to you, I mean, it's not too often that that'll stir that emotion in you.
Yeah.
Fern's is a theatrical guy. He's theater, right?
Yes.
I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple times, especially over here. He sings like a bird.
He's amazing. He was in a production of Les Miserables. Fern lives in New Zealand right now, and he is a successful stage actor. He's done work with the Philharmonic. He sang with the Christmas Pops thing, and he really is a world-renowned traveler and singer.
And he's in New Zealand working that play right now, isn't he?
I'm not sure if he's still working with the play, but he is still in New Zealand. Him and his wife and his sons live there.
What a great place to be.
Oh, yeah.
I love New Zealand. Yeah.
I've talked to him recently, and he's talked about coming back, but there's still a little bit of like COVID restrictions and weird things like that. Is he what?
Is he in Auckland?
You
know where he's at?
I don't know for sure. He's told me, but it's escaped me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so we would often get together, and Fern is one of the other most improvisational musicians I've ever had the pleasure to work with, and I'm very much of an improvisational guy myself, and so we did a multitude of projects together. I had a film production company at the time called Res FX, and when he was living with us, he was like our third Res FX team member, and he was a very integral part of that, acting, singing, and even like some songwriting stuff that we did for commercials and stuff at the time. And then so whenever we would jam and improv and record, we called it the Calvary. So there's a couple of Calvary songs out there that we've released. It's just him and I and just feeling the groove, jamming the groove. But I think, what song we doing, Dave, tonight?
Your Face.
Your Face.
Yeah.
So yes, that's my other favorite one. And if I
was it Blue Chevette? Is that your favorite? That's my favorite.
That's a great song.
So it's not Blue Chevette, but that's not the one I'm talking about. But I do love that song, and Blue Chevette has the released version has a 8-year-old Trenton Kof, my son, playing harmonica on it.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trent. Good old Trent. You say the Calvary, I think of Marvel movies. So so we're gonna play a song for you from him. I think it was recorded here on Broadway Street.
Yep.
And so I guess, as they say in New Zealand, sweet as, bro. And here's the song, Your Face.
This is Your Face. Probably wrote it somewhere between maybe 2003, 2004, maybe 2002, 2004 in college. A little young romantic and budding love. And first time I recorded it was maybe 2005 or 2006, my first album, Bachelor of Music. So here goes Your Face. If I could shower you with riches, bathe your skin in gold, dress you in the finest robes of kings and queens of old, you would lay in silk and lace but I'd never change your face. It is a treasure. Better men have spent entire lives in search of lesser things. One day I will get better. Maybe I'll be worthy of the breath you've spent on me. Atlantis and the sunset, King Arthur's holy grail, gold beneath the rainbow, or any fairy tale I would trade them any day for one look at your face. It is a treasure. Better men have spent entire lives in search of lesser things. One day I will get better. Maybe I'll be worthy of the breath you've spent on me. But I am just a poor boy, no gold behind my name, no riches for the richest gift any man can claim. And when I wake, my hands I'll place upon your precious face. It is a treasure. Better men have spent entire lives in search of lesser things. One day I will get better. Maybe I'll be worthy of the breath you've spent on me. Oh, your precious face, your face, your face, your face, your face, your face.